Hello, how you doing?
Hello, is this Dazzle?
Yeah, it's Dazzle.
Yes, how you doing? I want to know if I can book a reading or if you're available for a reading.
Yes, always. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I think my baby father's sleeping with the girl next door.
What?
And yes, because she always looking at me funny. She never really speak. But every time I'm with him, it's like she speak and be giggling, like doing this like a side eye thing. I think it's like a woman's intuition thing. He say I'm tripping, but I know I'm not. She don't do nothing for me, nothing for my kids. And the other day, I found like a Gucci receipt in his armrest, and just coincidentally, she had like some
Alright, we're
Gucci
gonna
shoes.
figure. Hello, everybody. It's your girl Dazzle That Tarot, and I'm back for another tarot reading. So please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I upload and when I go live. And if you would like to book a private reading, everything is in the description box. Okay, check on me. Anywho, I'm a little late because I had to feed my babies, right? So I was going to fry some chicken and make cabbage and whatnot, but I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't feel like defrost. I mean, I defrosted the chicken, but I didn't feel like frying it. So when that urge of saying I don't want to do it came upon me, I went ahead and got Uber Eats, and now they're eating pizza and chicken. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. So that's why I was a little late. I had to make sure that they was all right and they was straight. They had their juice, they had their pizza, they had their chicken. So that's what we're doing. Hey, boo. Hey, Dominique. Hey, girl. Hey. But look, let me let y'all see me. Hey, I'm on the whole island on my back porch, y'all. I'm chilling on my back porch. I like my little floppy hat. Okay, I had seen it in the store or whatever. Mind you, I seen it in City Trends, and I was like, well, shit, okay. This is a big one. This is the biggest one I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, I'm going to get it. And I'm going to be outside like this on my back porch and act like I am at a spa, a resort. I want to be a rich bitch too. You look goody boo. Thank you. I want to be a rich bitch too. Because, we're going to talk about rich people problems today. Because from what I heard from Brianna, Cassie's friend, these were some rich ass crackheads. And mind you, they wasn't smoking crack because crack is cheap, like Whitney said. They was on ketamine, they was on G, they was on cocaine, they was on ecstasy, they was on Molly, they was on, you name it, they was on it. Herkies, Vikings, everything. And they was on it every day. They was on it every day, and these things were not happening. Yes, baby. No, you gotta speak a little louder.
Can I get more chicken?
Yes, it's on the stove. You can get some more chicken.
Hey, you doing your video?
Yes, I'm doing my video. I'm outside doing my video. You're messing up the whole allure of me being on the island. I'm supposed to be on the island, okay? I'm supposed to be by the beach. Let me be by the beach, okay?
What the hell?
I'm by the beach, okay? So, yeah, y'all. Yeah. So, the girls was expressing how they were going through all these things, and they were going through it in a rich fashion, rich people stuff. Girl, by the time I finished listening to, and you know what's crazy, that what I don't like the fact that most of these outlets are just listening to the direct, right? They're reporting on the direct. They're not ever reporting on the cross examination. And I'm like, why? Because to be honest with you, both parts are important. The direct the cross-examination, and the redirect all forms of story. It's not just about one truth. It's about her truth, his truth, and what actually happened in between. And then you find out, right? So, based on what Brianna has been saying, Cassie and her been druggies way before Cassie met Diddy. And then, even though Diddy did stuff to Brianna still wanted to come back and be friends with Diddy and Cassie and have an 8-hour long ketamine cipher. How the fuck do you have an 8-hour ketamine cipher? How high? Like, they were high. And it's to the point that she was like, well, look, Diddy walked up on me and said that he had killed me, and I was just so high that I paid the dust. I'm like, the high. And then it was like, well, we both wanted to get clean. Me and Cassie wanted to get clean. So what did y'all do to get clean? We decided to cook instead of get high. What, bitch? Nah, that urge. If y'all high like that and y'all trying to stop and y'all trying to quit, I am so sorry. You not cooking and not smoking. them girls was high. They was high. Like, when I mean high, they were high. And I had to ask my husband, because me and my husband, I got my husband to start listening to what I was listening to, right? And I had to ask my husband, who did what he did in the past, what I'm saying, push you. But I can't, I'm not going to snitch. But I'm like, what is ketamine? I had to ask him what ketamine was. And then I had to ask him, I'm like, if you're going on a ketamine binge for 8 hours, what is that like? He don't know what it's like because he doesn't take ketamine, but he know people who did, and he like, they were high, like completely high. And I'm like, this makes sense. And I realized what this was. We are looking at a bunch of rich crackheads with immunity. Even though Diddy has done a lot of evil stuff, a lot of them, all of them are just as evil as him. They vibrate on the same level as him. The only difference is they have immunity and they trying to get a check. Every single witness, every single one, seems like they're all friends with Cassie. They found out that Cassie was doing a lawsuit. Cassie settled. P. Diddy settled with Cassie. Okay? And at this point, they trying to do their own thing too. They're all in contact with this girl. Y'all cannot tell me. They even admitted to still being in contact with her, but then they try to act like they're not talking about the case. Liza Minnelli lies. Okay, that's a lie. They talking about the case. They all getting their story together. Even with what's her name? Brittany. What is her goddamn name? Brielle. No, it's not Brielle. Girl, start with a B. I forgot. Look, it messed up. But y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. That girl over there with the black glasses that's hanging off her nose. Look, she did all that based on, Cassie coming out with her story. And even in her testimony, she talks about how the inconsistencies, what I'm saying? The inconsistencies, right? And then also, she initially got Tyrone Blackburn to represent her. and he had made up, and he basically she had to let him go because in the initial complaint he was lying about what happened, and then all of a sudden she's sitting here, even though you let this lawyer go, you're still perpetrating and verbally saying what he said, even though that you said that he was lying about what he was saying. Girl, girl. At this point, yes, elements of RICO, elements of sex trafficking, but however, the whole story don't it's not the same. It's not what it is, right? It's that, but it's not that. That's what I'm getting based on reading tarot, reading oracle, but also discernment. Okay, so he is going to get some time, but he ain't going to get the whole thing. That's the way I'm looking at it for right now, and I'm doing it day by day. So my whole question is because the girl Bree, I'm gonna just say Bree, right? That girl is bisexual, right? Now, I've been told y'all, I mean, a couple of lives ago that I know what it means to get high and drunk. It's a couple of things you're gonna do. You're gonna argue, you're gonna want to fight, and you're gonna want to fuck, right? That was Cassie Get High Buddy, and this girl Bree was getting high to the point that she could no longer afford her high. Also, this girl Bree ended up like started being Cassie's dealer, right? Cassie got 100 pills from this girl. Bought 100 pills from this girl. They both was high as shit. I don't even know what it means to be that high. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell y'all a story. Okay. My husband, he smokes cannabis, okay? His folks got this whole business of making brownies, right? With cannabis in it, right? So he made some very, very, very special brownies for my husband. And so I decided to partake with my husband. We're in a safe space. It's with me and my husband. Bitch. I didn't know that I was only supposed to just take a little piece. Bitch. I took a bitch bit like 3 big gulps of it. 3 big bites. Do you know your girl Dazzle was hiding underneath the table, talking to my cat, talking to Bobby, okay, talking to my cat Bobby, underneath the table, and my husband was trying to figure out where I was until he looked underneath the table, and he was like, "What you doing down there?" And mind you, I didn't realize I was on the table talking to Bobby, and I was like, I don't know. And he was like, "Come on." He had to coach your girl to come up from the table. He said, "Look, you gotta get money. I'm scared. I want to talk to Bobby. I don't know." He said I was so uncertain about coming, getting from underneath the table, the dining room table. He had to like, look, I'm gonna give you my hand. So you know your girl don't get high, okay? I was too high, and it was a different type of high. Never had brownies before. That is way different than you just smoking. You know, you feel it in your lungs. You know, I know that. But when you ingest brownies, it's like your whole body is high. So I'm like, well, damn, if I can't handle 3 big bites of a brownie, I can't hang with them. That girl Brianna, that's her name, Brianna. It came back. That girl Brianna said that he abused her by throwing her, dangling her over the balcony. She had all these bruises and this, that, and the third. They was like, did you go to the doctor? No, but she went to the chiropractor, and they're like, oh, who did this to you? She put a neck brace on and stuff. She had big bruises and everything, right? But they was like, did you ever feel pain? She was like, honestly, no, because I was just too high all the time. She was that high, she couldn't feel shit. That's how high her and Cassie was. That means that, guess what? Cassie was so high that she can endure abuse and not feel shit. That's how high this bitch was. That was high. They was too high. I couldn't hang around them hoes. No. And then apparently they scheming. Yeah, lock that man up the whole time. To be honest with you, these people who are saying that they're victims are actually co-conspirators with immunity. Nobody in that court is innocent of anything. I have actually just realized that. I mean, I've been realizing that, but nobody in this court case is innocent of anything. Cassie was abused, but at the same time, when you start abusing others, as in, you have herpes, that's what she doesn't want to talk about. When you have herpes and you're willingly having sex with unsuspecting people, you have become an abuser. You have herpes sores in your mouth and you give it to one of the male sex workers. You knowingly knew you had it and still had sex with him unprotected and did not let him know. That's exactly why he was suing them motherfuckers. Yes, and that's exactly why that sex worker got a settlement. He didn't fuck Diddy. He fucked Cassie. That's what happened. But he sued Diddy. Which to me makes sense. I would have sued both. He settled with Diddy. Diddy took that on the chin. But the whole time it was Cassie that gave him the herpes. But we not trying, it's like we not supposed to talk about that. We're not supposed to highlight these things. Because to be honest with you, in totality, the truth is the whole picture, not half the picture. You see this little circle I'm in right now? This is part of the truth. But if I spread it out, you'll see the whole truth. You see what I'm saying? They just only want you to see this little circle. Okay? They don't want you to see everything. They don't want you to pay attention to everything. They just want you to see this little circle of somebody being victimized and him being a monster and how things add up to Rico. But in fact, if you look at the whole picture and the whole story, all the motherfuckers was high as shit. Playing crackhead games. How you playing crackhead games with money? And then the whole time, they, the defense and cross-exam asked Brianna, oh, you know who Ray J is? Ray J was one of your suppliers. Ray J was out here selling y'all drugs. And she was like, I don't remember. It sounded like he could be the celebrity singer or whatever, but I don't remember. I don't recall. No, Ray J was a drug dealer at some point selling y'all drugs. Stop playing with the people. Excuse me, stop playing with the people. Stop. This shit don't make sense. Like, to be honest with you, people are getting mad at people like Armand Wiggins and people like Voodoo Doll TV. Because they're just saying it how it sounds to regular people. What are you talking about? He dangled you off a balcony, right? He wasn't stealing drugs. He was selling drugs. Hey, Orange, Sienna. Hey, girl. He wasn't stealing. He was selling. Ray J was selling them drugs. He was selling them Perkies, Mollies, Coke. Okay, ketamine, G. Girl, I even found out a new way of doing shit. Like, this is how much I don't do drugs. These motherfuckers talked about a cocoa puff. I was like, what the fuck is cocoa puffs? Yes, girl, we going to the beach, girl. I'm on my back porch in the beach. Whole time, my back porch is actually at the beach, like Cassie. You know, we're not getting high off ketamine and cocaine and shit, but we out back by the beach. But look, look. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. I can't honestly tell you, and mind you, I have done jury duty a lot, okay? I've been on the jury, in the juror's position, and mind you, God is funny like that. He always made me go to jury duty when the bitch was broke. So I end up, yeah, I'm at the beach, girl. I'm at the beach. I'm not going. I'm at the beach. Okay, I'm at the beach. I'm at the beach. I'm fulfilling my fantasy, girl. I am at the beach. I'm drinking my wine with a straw in my floppy hat. You know. I wish Cassie's beach house in Miami was my beach house. You know, she had a whole house in Miami. Her back porch was the beach. Girl, I'm trying to have that, girl. So I'm going to feel that vibe until I get that. Okay? The first step is manifestation. And the first part of manifestation is to visualize, girl. I'm visualizing myself on the beach. Okay. Look, don't worry about this. This is just the guardrail, so I don't go that far, to protect myself from the tide. I don't know, girl. I don't know. But this shit crazy, right? So that's what I got from this whole thing. What I got from this whole thing is that this girl Brianna is friends with Cassie, yet another friend who is a witness or whatever. All her friends are being witnesses at this point. And, all of them have been caught up in something, right? The gay boy, he was just saying it how it was, but see, they should have asked the right questions with him, because if all these women are getting high and doing shit, I know you was getting high and doing shit too. Okay? And my whole thing is, like I keep saying, when it comes to drugs and alcohol, when you drink or smoke or ingest too much with people, by the end of the day, and mind you, they was up for hours and hours. They was 3-6 Mafia high. They was like, I'm high, the conductor high, everybody high, okay? So, by the end of the day, it's going to be some fighting, some fucking, some cursing, some zoning out, some passing out, some blacking out, some throwing up. Y'all know what it means to be high and drunk excessively, to be over the limit. Y'all done got completely wasted before. Them hoes could not feel a face. And the fact that they had been high the whole time, them girls, no. I mean, that's what I'm saying. At this point, I ain't got no sympathy. Okay. Cassie was so high she couldn't even feel the punches. Just like Brianna said, she was so high she couldn't even feel the pain. Now, the other new thing was, how do you get into a ketamine? What'd she say? Ketamine circle, ketamine binge. Who the fuck? Who the fuck is getting that high for 8 hours straight? But it makes sense why they had freakos for days, because they was going on binges for days. They were that high. It wasn't like Diddy was sitting around here talking about some, yeah, bitch, you gotta fuck for days. No, they were high as shit for days doing shit. How the fuck do you get that high? hours of high. Like that's scary to me. I don't know about y'all. Tell me if that's scary to y'all. Okay. I am stuck on that high. Like I can't even get that high. I can't even get mid high. I act crazy at low high. Like y'all was high. Y'all was high. It's high. It's giving altered shrooms, bitch. You name it, they did it. The only thing they didn't say they did, I think, was heroin, girl. Girl, I was waiting on them to say heroin. And then the whole other drug, G, I'm like, what the fuck is G? The whole time she was like, G make you feel like you're drunk, but you're not. I'm like, what? These are not the people that you want to be around, because if you all fucked up, I cannot trust people who are that fucked up. Mm-mm. You can't trust their testimony. You can't trust them as friends, because the whole time I'm trying to figure out how Cassie let all her friends get abused. If that is the case, I would not be friends with Cassie. I would feel bad for Cassie, but I would not be friends with Cassie. I'm not going to be abused with you. Okay? I'm not. No, no. We can't both sport black eyes and bruises and shit. I'm not even fucking this man over, or were they? I think, you know what? Let's excuse. Okay. Now let me just go ahead on and get into my little readings and stuff, because I think I'm talking way too much, but it's just something. Like, you hear about somebody getting high, like high, but then this is rich people high. Rich people got the time to be going on binges for 8 hours straight, right? In the beach, in the home with the backyard is the beach, right? And shit like that. She talking about every time Brianna got attacked by Diddy, she was zoning out, high shit. She don't know how Diddy then came up to her house. She didn't see Diddy run up on her. Like, not, it's like she just looking at the sunset. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with these people? What the fuck? Like, this is crazy. So I'm gonna ask about. I think her name was Brianna, the one with the black glasses that's tipping like that. You know, let's ask about Brianna. Okay, we're gonna first ask about this hanging over the balcony, because she changed her story a couple of times about how Diddy attacked her and dangled her over the balcony. In fact, the whole time they tried to say Diddy did that to Wale, and I knew it was a lie. And I did a reading about it, and it was a lie. And really, the real story was that he did it to Brianna or whatever. And come to find out, Brianna changed her story about how it happened multiple times. But, I mean, I give you this. If you hide shit every day, how the fuck do you know? Your brain is altered, bitch. You don't know what happened. Matter of fact, as far as you know, it could have all been an illusion and he never did it. That's how heavy they were. Like, when I mean they were this deep in drugs, girl. Okay? Imagine being in quicksand and you're like this right now. That's how deep they are in taking drugs. They're that deep. And at this point, yeah, Cassie says she's still taking medicine to keep her off of drugs. But to be honest, I still think that Cassie still does drugs. Just like I feel like, and there was a little slip up there with Brianna, she still do drugs. It's a battle, right? And them hoes is still coked out, highed out, all that. They, like, all that. You know it based on common sense. You know it, right? So, did he actually dangle Brianna over the 17th floor balcony of Cassie's apartment in LA. One, two, three. One, two, three. Why is the secret accounts back here in the reverse? Okay, we're gonna look at some stuff on some true emotions. Okay, so I hope that you're here. Hey, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. So look, ooh, you have a firestorm that's in the reverse. You have off and on, hot and cold, detached, ghosted right here. Then you have the twin flames in the reverse. Okay. So you do have the elements of fire. Fire is all about passion. It can be aggressive, but it's action. So there was some type of action that was taking place that night, right? At the end of the day, it was some type of aggression towards this woman. Okay, so I'll leave it there, right? But this is karma, drama, endings, loss, mental breakdown. Now, I want to focus on the mental breakdown part though. Here's what I'll say. And you got to be careful when you're talking to a chronic drug addict. Okay? If they is high all the time, if they're 90% high and 10% sober most of the time, then you do have to understand the psychosis of the brain. You can't take your brain through all those drugs 90% of the time and think that you can be accurate on what's going on with you in your life. You're detached, that's for one. But also, your brain is compromised. So, things absolutely could have happened, but you don't know how it happened. Now, she said that when he lifted her up by her titties and did like this and tried to dangle her over the balcony, the problem with that is that he kept saying, "You know what you did. You know what you did." Now everybody high. He high. She high. She high. The house is high. Fuck it. The apartment is high. The actual units in the building is high. Okay. The walls are high. Okay. Y'all didn't let a demonic spirits in based on your altered mental, right? So this demonic spirit has decided to come and wreak havoc, right? And it could have happened after a minor argument, or you done did some shit that was off as hell, right? And then you got this motherfucker who's prone to abuse women anyway that y'all still want to be around because he got money and he be daddy. And guess what? I'm so high I don't even feel the punches. It's just coming, nigga. Bow. I don't feel nothing. You know? So she's not telling the whole situation. Something did happen that may have had her dangling over a balcony. I will not take that away. That feels like that happened, but it also feels like they all three of them was high as Cooler Brown. I keep saying high because that's what they were. They were all fucking high. So they were all high arguing and shit. I keep telling you what end up happening when you be too high and too drunk. You either argue, fucking argue, and fight. You know, that's what happens, right? And then they know each other. They know each other a lot because that Firestone talks about passion too. To be honest with you, they've been on drug binges together. That means that she didn't have sex with Cassie and she didn't have sex with Diddy and Cassie. They did 3 ways. They did a lot of stuff on their drug binges. You know, because a lot of drugs make you feel certain ways. I don't know how all of them make you feel, but guess what? I do know what happens at the end of the day. All of them was having sex with each other. Period. That's what I get from that. But that night, yeah, people got on 10 because of their altered states. Okay. Off and on, hot and cold, detached. Now, here's what happens after the fact. Now, after this has happened, she did She is being honest. She did not speak to them for a while, like ghosted them, right? But it's when you're coming down, right? We have to talk about it like these are drug addicts because they were drug addicts, okay? They were absolute drug addicts. They were rich, privileged druggies, okay? And I know I said crackheads, but I'm gonna give you in the words of Whitney Houston. First of all, crack is whack, okay? I make too much money to smoke crack, baby. We doing other stuff. We doing other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but while she was coming down, that crash, she couldn't afford her own drugs half the time. So that ketamine crash, like that other time she had that ketamine binge with them that lasted 8 whole hours straight, my eyes on your high beams. Yeah. She had crashed and feel away about what she's done, right? Now, here's the problem with feeling away about what you did. Can you face yourself? She can't face herself. This lady can't face herself and her truth. She can't tell you that, yeah, me, Cassie, and Diddy got high as the cost of living in 2025 in New York. Okay, she can't just tell you that and say, yeah, and while I was high, I done ate Cassie's coochie and I done sucked P. Diddy's dick. She ain't gonna tell y'all that because she can't stand in it. She can't really stand in the fact that, look, me and P. Diddy got into an argument. I just wasn't just zoned out. She ain't gonna tell you that. But the real thing is, y'all got into a high-ass argument. Whole time y'all wasn't really even fucking mad. Y'all was just high. Just high. And he acted like he was going to dang you over the damn balcony. And then tossed you down like you was Cassie because he's abusive and he ain't shit. Okay? And after the fact, even though you was bruised, you ain't feel shit because you was high anyway, and you still decided to suck and fuck him and Cassie. Why don't she just say this shit? Why don't she just say this shit? He toxic, Cassie toxic, and she toxic. She is a toxic individual. And mind you, Cassie and Diddy was toxic twin flames. They was marrying each other too. So Cassie ain't even help you when he did do that to you. And you sat there with your high ass because you're chasing the high and you want to be high and connected to these fucking rich ass, over glorified crackheads. You wanted to sit there and take this shit. That's exactly what happened with her. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it above. That's what happened. While I'm on the beach, I'm just telling y'all what happened. Okay. So my dog want to come outside. So let me hold on, y'all. Let me get 1 second and let Lex outside. Okay, give me a second. Lex, I'm coming. Hold on. Shoot, just messing up my whole vibe. I'm supposed to be on the beach, Lex. Why are you messing up my vibe? Now you want to be on the beach too. Come on, Lex. You better not mess up my shit. Come on. It's always you. Come on, let's go. Every time I try to be independently great, like you be out here just letting me know. Just bringing me back to reality. Child. Anywho, let me push up a little bit because my seat is up here. Okay, no, Lex, hold on. You gotta let me get comfortable. Okay, hold on, Lex. Look, I'm trying to get comfortable. Okay, so now my dog is on the beach with me. My dog is on the beach with me, okay. He is on the beach with me while I am being fed grapes by 3 male models. My dog is constantly getting belly rubs by 3 assistants, okay. He's getting belly rubs. He's getting peanut butter, ice cream, because dogs love peanut butter ice cream. And he is also getting milk bones and stuff. So he's on the beach with me. We are living the life of luxury and watching the rich crackheads fight. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're watching rich crackheads fights while we are on the beach. Okay, but look, so I just had to ask those questions and stuff because I'm not dumb. We're not dumb. Okay. I believe everyone is psychic. I believe everyone is intuitive. And I believe everybody has discernment. If you really pay attention, this shit's. Y'all know, right? This shit is crazy. But look, let's go into Milagro Gramz, Tory Lanez, and Megan Thee Stallion. So Milagro Gramz had her Zoom today. Okay, she had her court on Zoom. She is currently not being represented by what is it called? Unite the People in them, right? She does not have any representation. Okay. Now here's the problem. Like I told y'all, and y'all told me that I was a horrible reader and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I told y'all that Miss Milagro Gramz put way too much into these people than they do to her. And she deserves more, right? And basically I said they're gonna turn her. I basically said they're gonna turn their back on her. Because even in my initial reading, I already told y'all that they don't take her seriously. They're just using her. They don't take her seriously. They don't give a fuck about her. And she sat there and even commented like, "Oh, I don't agree with everything, woo, but I take whatever." I'm like, "Nah, bitch. Listen, bitch. These motherfuckers don't really like you, bitch. They was just using you as a fucking mouthpiece, okay? And they were entertained by your clownery. But now you gotta defend yourself against the motherfucker that they was keying with you about. They're nowhere to be found, hunty. They left you high and dry, hunty. Okay. They left you by yourself, hunty. They left you on your lonesome, hunty. They don't like you like that, right? So how does and I asked this already, but after today, after the Zoom meeting, how does Milagro Gramz feel? Because what they basically said is that, hey, we need to be on a schedule and you have a specific date on when we have to come back to do the deposition. And by then, hopefully, you have representation. Because if not, you're going to be representing yourself. And the problem with that is that they can't even give her certain documents. I don't know how that's going to work. But, she's so right. And she believe everything she believe, and y'all believe her. And y'all want to donate to her for this fucking losing ass battle instead of just straight up telling her, like, look, why don't you just give a message to the judge and say, look, I cannot fight this lawsuit. I am indeed factually guilty of doing the things that was said that I did. I cannot go any further. What can I do to wrap this up? That's what she needs to do. But she don't want to do that. So how does Milagro Gramz really feel? And mind you, I was like, Millie, don't go. Millie, you might as well don't show up and just accept the settlement and just keep it as that. But but it looks like it might be criminal too, girl. Well, so how does Milagro Gramz feel about the lawsuit and Tory Lanez after going to the Zoom meeting today, the Zoom hearing? Oh, she want to tell some secrets. She want to tell the tea. I keep telling you, she wants to tell the tea. Massive regrets She feels away because of this man. She feels like she's been literally left hanging. Oh, God. This is Psycho in the reverse. Crazy ex obsessed won't let go. That was her. That was her with Megan. Look at that. That was Milagro the whole time. Look at that. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 She was that to Megan. So there is proof. That's why she should have stopped. She should have fought tooth and nail to have this shit over with. She didn't want to. Her fan base didn't want her to. They yesed her into a fucking wall, into the pit of the abyss, because they're barbs and they're Tory fans, but they're not really Tory fans. They're really barbs that don't like Megan. And so the hate for Megan is so loud that you would literally walk this girl into a motherfucking cliff to oblivion. I hate Milagro Gramz fans who let her do that. And I hate the fact that she listened. And I hate the fact that she listened to these motherfucking celebrities. And she did the most for these celebrities. Because that's who she is right now. This is exactly what's going to happen to her. And guess what? I do agree. Bitch snitch. I would snitch on all them hoes. Nikki and Tori. Go ahead, do it, girl. But that's what I got for y'all, okay? I love y'all for real. And thank you for joining my fantasy out back by the ocean. You hear the wind. This tide is coming in good. It's time to go back in the house, girl. The alligators are coming ashore. But anyway, I love y'all for real. Peace.